everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Katie and I'm the Organic Esthetician. So in my last few videos, we've been working our way over various parts of the face. We've covered the scalp, how to treat the forehead. Quite a while ago, I did a whole video on nasal labial folds and jowls. We'll put links to all of those videos down below. But in today's video, we are focusing on the neck. So this is an area that often gets skipped when you're applying your skincare at home, but it's one of the first areas to show signs of aging as we get older. This is because the skin on the neck is thinner, it has less oil glands than the rest of the face, and it's constantly moving, making it more vulnerable to sagging, to fine lines, and to texture changes. Anyone noticing that? Add in environmental stressors and UV exposure, and constantly looking down at your phone. Look familiar? We'll address the tech neck a little bit later in this video. All of this comes together to create the perfect storm that ages the neck faster than the rest of the face. So in today's video, we are gonna talk all about the neck. We're gonna go into the muscles that make up the neck. We'll get into the nerves a little bit. I'll highlight tools that I love, like the ZIIP Halo for addressing the neck. And I'll show you a couple stretches and massage techniques along with product that helps to address this specific area of the face. All right, so let's talk about the muscles of the neck. So the two major ones are the platysma and the sternocleidomastoid. There's also the scalenes that kind of act as a support in these major muscles, and so we'll kind of address all three. So let's start with the platysma. So this is a thin sheet-like muscle that runs from the jawline. It actually attaches at the depressors in the corner of the mouth, all the way down over the clavicle and into the chest. This muscle can act two different ways, creating two different outcomes in the neck. So when it contracts and is overactive, you can start to see these vertical bands on the neck, and the neck can get a little ropey. When we flex our platysma, you can see the bands of the muscle activated, and you've probably seen this as we age. Those bands can start to kind of protrude and become very noticeable. The alternative activity is when that muscle sags and atrophies. It actually splits at the midline and can contribute to what is often called a turkey neck. Not a wonderful name, but I think you understand what I mean when I say that. And you often get this kind of depression in the center of the neck. It's as if the contours of the jawline kind of disappear and the skin under the chin just kind of hangs and comes straight down. That's often partnered with a loss of elasticity and collagen, so the skin is hanging in addition to the muscle sagging. Now, horizontal lines on the neck are often actually just caused by the skin being pinched or put into a repetitive position over a long period of time. And one of the best ways to accentuate those horizontal lines on the neck is to look down at your phone for hours at a time. So this is part of that tech neck that everyone talks about. So postural correction is something we're going to talk about in just a moment, but is an integral part of maintaining optimum health of the muscles of the neck. Next, we'll get into the sternocleidomastoid. So this muscle runs diagonally from behind the ear toward the midline of the neck. And when this muscle gets tight, which it often does, it can pull the jawline down. It can create tension around the ear, into the scalp. A lot of times you'll get a cascading effect from your traps up into the scalenes and then into the sternocleidomastoid and then up into that connective tissue that we talked about last week on the scalp. When I had my repetitive motion injuries, that chain was activated almost every day, and it was just so excruciating. So I really feel for you if you are experiencing tightness in these muscles. It can be really uncomfortable. So the last muscle group we're going to talk about are the scalenes. You have three on each side: anterior, middle, and posterior. These muscles assist with flexion of the neck to the side and help assist with bringing the chin down. So when these muscles are overworked or contracted, it can decrease the flow of lymphatic and blood through the neck. 2 videos ago, we really talked about all of the different lymph nodes of the face, the neck, and into the chest, and how important lymphatic drainage is to the health of the skin and to the entire body. And we mentioned how the neck is a super highway connecting to the head to the rest of the body, and it often backs up. The scalenes can contribute to that blockage. So again, when there's contraction here, it inhibits the flow of circulation and of lymphatic, creating a backup of stagnation and waste. So if you're noticing any puffiness under the jawline or in the face, you always want to make sure that you're activating the lymph nodes and the lymphatic channels and pathways underneath where you're noticing puffiness. Again, I'll have a link to that video in the show notes down below. I'll put a timestamp as well, so you can jump right to where I'm explaining all of the different lymphatic pathways of the face and easy ways to activate them. So the best way to support the neck is through postural correction. You want to make sure that you're sitting upright. Imagine someone pulling up through the crown. Your back of your neck is smooth. You're lifting up through the center of the head, and your chin is slightly tucked. That would be neutral spine. That is a nice neutral spine and a neutral neck posture. You can then layer in mouth posture with this, which really does help. Just kind of, again, everything's connected. Mouth closed, teeth open, tongue on the roof of the mouth, and it really helps support not just the muscles, but the bone structure of the head as well. Be mindful when you're looking at your phone to bring your screen up to eye level so that you're not looking down for hours, because that's a great way to accentuate all of this activity that we are trying to combat, right? Another thing that you can do is really focus on stretching the neck daily. So whether that's just little neck circles, working your way around in both directions. It feels so delicious. This is part of my morning routine. I do whole body kind of circles, and some cat-cow is really nice. But for the platysma specifically, you are gonna put your hands on your chest and put gentle pressure downward while you lift your chin up. Bonus points for sticking your tongue out when you get to the top. But this is such a nice way to stretch these muscles. You can then turn to a side, up and over to the other side. You can then look down to that shoulder, creating a little more stretch through the sternocleidomastoid. Also, any sort of chest opening will help with that. Standing in a doorway and kind of leaning through the opening to open the chest, because as we now know, everything is connected. So when the chest gets tight, it can pull on that platysma, the scalenes, into the traps. All of these things affect each other. So chest opening can be really helpful for neck health as well. So you can come in on the side if your traps are scalenes, kind of stretch down this way. You're lifting up with the top hand, kind of up underneath the skull, and gliding down with the lower hand, creating a stretch. I feel this a little bit more through the traps in the back of the neck, but it is a nice way to get the scalenes and part of that sternocleidomastoid as well. I'm gonna show you some really easy massage techniques that you can do. I like doing it with a tool just because the neck can be a little tricky, but I've talked about the Anma. I have videos dedicated to the Anma. I'll put those in the notes down below too, but I really love using a tool like this to very gently, you're not using firm pressure when you're using this tool on the neck, to very gently release the fascia of the neck. And then you can flip your tool around and use it to drain fluid as well. You might be a little pink, and you always want to make sure that you're doing any sort of neck massage over product, but it can be another really nice way to release the neck. And I love using the Anma on the back of my neck going into the base of my skull. You get a little bit of lymphatic drainage back there. Activating that area creates a little lymphatic drainage as well, in addition to just helping to release all of that tension that can build up in this area. So again, unlike the face, the neck lacks oil glands. It needs extra collagen support. It's constantly moving. It gets more sun exposure and exposure to environmental stressors. All of this kind of compounds to age the neck faster. So we need to target the neck specifically. The neck needs its own treatments. So a great way to target the neck is through the use of microcurrent. If you are new to the channel, this is a ZIIP Halo. It is my favorite at-home device. If you're not new to the channel, I'm sorry you've heard that line 10,000 times before, because I say this a lot. I really do love this little guy. So today I'm going to show you how to use the ZIIP to target the neck. We are going to use the lift treatment. Now, I think it should be mentioned that if you have a lot of contraction in your neck, a lot of tightness, we kind of talked earlier about how you can tell whether your platysma is tight or whether it's starting to sag. If you are on the tight end, I like using the founder's favorite for the neck. It's that nanocurrent activity that's really great for increasing that cellular support in the skin. It'll help stimulate collagen. It'll help firm the skin without activating an already activated muscle. But if you're someone experiencing laxity in the neck, then the lift treatment for the ZIIP is a fantastic option. All right, so here I'm gonna show you how to do this at home. I'm gonna apply the golden gel to give a little extra collagen support when I'm using my ZIIP. ZIIP makes 3 different targeted gels. All of them are fantastic, but the golden gel has ingredients that are a little better suited for anti-aging and specifically collagen stimulation. So I'm going to turn the ZIIP on with the button. I don't need to turn it on through the app. It's preloaded with the lift treatment. It's a 4-minute microcurrent treatment, and we are gonna run it twice. We're gonna do a full 4 minutes on one side of the neck. It's going to end, we're gonna turn it back on, and we're gonna do a full 4 minutes on the other side of the neck. ZIIP recommends doing this sequence, the lift treatment, twice, 4 times a week to really help target this area, and you will notice a difference. I was actually surprised. I noticed a difference after doing this once on my neck just today. Melanie taught me a cool thing. I had the pleasure of working with her last year at a Goop event here in LA, and she likes to use the lift in 2 different ways. So you can do the lifting where you're gliding from the collarbone up towards the jawline, and that's gonna give you that lifting activation. But if you turn your device the other way and run it horizontal, kind of from the outside of the midline toward the back of the neck, you get a little bit of lymphatic activation. So I like to start my lift treatment horizontally to drain the lymph, to kind of clear the pathways, and then I start working my way up, lifting the neck. You have a lot of time, a full 4 minutes on each side, so you can kind of play around with movement. I also like to hang out underneath the chin and glide out towards the ear this way. And then, you know, you're doing the neck, I did my face as well. I'll come back up here and hit the jaw when I start working on my face. Incorporating microcurrent with the ZIIP's lift treatment is going to not only create a lifting effect of the neck, but you're gonna start seeing a difference in texture. It smooths it out. I'm gonna show a picture of just before and after today, and even though I didn't touch this area with microcurrent, the lines in the skin in the midline of my neck smoothed out considerably. Now, you always want to make sure that when you're doing microcurrent, you're avoiding your thyroid, which is right here. So I kind of make sure that I'm not working here to out here. I'll use my tool underneath the chin, and I'll use it on the sides of my neck, but I'm just not gonna put it right here in the center. It's an easy area to avoid. All right, so short-term results, you're gonna see an improvement in texture. Your neck is going to be smoother, as you can see in these photos. It's gonna feel tighter and it's gonna be more lifted. With long-term use of the lift treatment on the neck, you're going to start seeing improved firmness, softened lines, even tone, and better jawline definition. Again, because everything's connected, when you're targeting things here, it will cascade up and you will notice a difference up here. So we've talked about the muscles of the neck, we've addressed the lymph nodes as well, but now we're gonna talk about the nerves, because this is something that's kind of a little unique to the neck. There's this thing called the vagus nerve that runs down the side of the neck, and it is a major communicator between your brain and your body. When you activate this nerve, whether through gentle massage, breath work, or even using a microcurrent device like the ZIIP, maybe using their founder's favorite, that nanocurrent activity. All of these are ways to stimulate this nerve, which then activates the parasympathetic state in the body, that rest and digest. We talked a lot about the nervous system and the parasympathetic state in last week's video, but by increasing your ability to get into that parasympathetic state on a regular basis will not only improve sleep, mood, longevity, but it's one of the greatest anti-aging things you can do for yourself, because it's only when you are in that state that things like collagen production can happen, digestion happens here, and we know gut health supports skin health. So again, this cascade effect in the body, but by down regulating stress and activating that nervous system into the parasympathetic state can be so beneficial. So when you work on your neck, it's not all about lifting or tightening. We're sending signals to our whole body to soften, to regulate, and to restore balance. So some things to remember when we are treating our neck, we're always going to be gentle. You don't need firm pressure when addressing this area. Consistency is more important than intensity. So keep that in mind. We're always going to work up. You might do some movements out, but you're never dragging down on the neck. And you always want to pair whatever treatment you're doing, microcurrent massage, with good posture, hydration, internal and topically, and proper skincare. First and foremost, whatever you put on your face, put on your neck as well. But I do have a couple products that I really like using on my neck. So the first is the Firming Collagen Booster from Lucerne Labs. So this is one of their serum absolutes. I love this. It kind of doubles as a hydrating anti-aging treatment. You can use it all over the face, but I find it especially well suited for the neck because it has vegan collagen, peptides, plant stem cells, all of these ingredients that work to not only protect the collagen we have, but to help stimulate more of it. It's a really nice kind of mid-weight water-based serum. If you're looking for something a little creamier, another option that I really love, I talk about this a lot on the channel too. This is the OS1 Eye Cream from OneSkin. Now, an eye cream for your neck? Yes. This has a higher concentration of that OS1 peptide that addresses cellular senescence, those little zombie cells in the skin, than the face cream. So use the eye cream wherever you want to target. I put it on my forehead and I put it on my neck and even on my chest. And I notice a big difference when I use this consistently. And again, because the skin on your neck doesn't have oil glands, adding in extra oil and extra moisture in this area can be really beneficial. I love applying facial oils to my neck. It feels wonderful. You can get up into your ears. You can do all kinds of massage. Try and massage your face and your neck every day. You not only will see a difference in your skin, but you will also see a difference in your mood. I have a code with ZIIP. It's ZIIP Katie. It gives you 10% off devices, and use code Katie Gels for, I think, 20% off all of your conductivity gels when you shop at ZIIPbeauty.com. I'll put those in the show notes down below. All right, so we talked about microcurrent, but another modality that is wonderful for this area of the body is red light therapy. I love using red and infrared light combined in a neck chest bib. I have two that I love, one from Current Body and one from Omnilux. The combos of light waves, red and infrared, and number of LEDs is very similar between these two guys, as is the price point. Use code KATIECB when you shop over at currentbody.com. Throwing on red light first thing in the morning if you don't have retinol on your skin is a really nice way to incorporate these masks into your treatment, and they are specifically designed to target this area of the body. I love a combo. I always will throw the neck on while I have my face mask on, and it's a really wonderful way to start your day. The Current Body mask uses a blend of red, infrared, and deep red wavelengths: 633 nanometers, 830 nanometers, 1072 nanometers. So the deeper the wavelength, the deeper the light is penetrating into the body, which means you get more of that anti-inflammatory effect and a deeper activation. And the consumer trials that Current Body did showed a reduction in wrinkles by 30% and an increase in plumpness by 57% in just 8 weeks of use. So let's recap. We're going to make sure that we have proper posture. We're going to stretch these tight muscles of our neck whenever we can. We are going to be gentle in this area, but treat it with specific treatments targeted for this area. Gentle fascia release with the Anma, microcurrent with your ZIIP, red light to help with collagen stimulation and reduce inflammation, and skincare to hydrate, to increase lipids, and to stimulate collagen and protect this delicate area of our body. All right, everyone, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned a few new tricks. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments down below. And if you are new here and you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All right, everyone, I will see you all really soon. Bye.